look at what they do every time something is built. It starts out as a forest, or maybe not even a forest, just land designed as the earth intended. As I'm attacked by a dog right now that I'm dog sitting. Oh, puppies. They're ridiculously cute. I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Do you know, puppy? Oh, yeah, order out of chaos. So the land is cleared. They bring in their machinery, tear down all the trees. And then they use their machinery to grate all of the grass and turn it into just a field of dirt. And then they come in and they put in the sewer system, and whether or not you dig a well will depend on whether or not you're hooked into the municipal or county or whatever water supply. Because, of course, going back to the ideas of Victor Schauberger, once you clear all of the natural vegetation, it disturbs the natural water cycle. And so that water cycle will no longer exist when the trees are gone. And so you either dig a well or you have to create your own water system. And then the building or house or structure is put up. And they come in with a landscape crew. And a lot of times if you drive past a huge residential neighborhood that's being built, you'll see these trucks that just have stacks and stacks of trees on the back of them. And they go through and they put one tree on each lot where a house is going to, this is after the house is built. They put one tree in each lot in a specific spot. It's all mapped out, coordinated in a structured way. And then out front of the neighborhood, they'll put, all sorts of bushes and trees and this nice presentation. And then on top of the dirt, they put down new grass that a lot of times is synthetic. And then, of course, eventually sprayed with Roundup to keep weeds from coming up. That's a whole other story. So you see, it is order out of chaos. They took the chaos of the undisturbed land and they ordered it. So obviously it's no mistake that masonry would be associated with this model, or this phrase, this philosophy. Esoterically, yeah, there is the metaphorical cornerstone that is placed down from which all the other stones are aligned. And that's why the Masons have their cornerstones outside of the buildings that they are involved with constructing. And it's actually pretty, let's say, highly questionable as far as the way this process was done in the past. They would, in some cultures, I know in Greece they might still do it, but it's been documented that they would, slaughter animals over the cornerstone spot and then bury the animal under the building as some sacrificial means of protecting the building somehow. Who knows what these people were thinking at the time. It's also insane. If you live in America, drive to any residential suburban neighborhood and you will see order out of chaos. That's what it is. And that's not to distract from other ways that it is conventionally known as far as, divide and conquer tactics and thesis, antithesis, synthesis. But that's truly what it is. ordering the chaos of nature and replacing it with a synthetic artificial version of it. This is why George Bush gave that speech on the New World Order in the early 90s and said, we have a real chance at this New World Order, one where the laws of the jungle no longer apply. Because to a mind that is disconnected from nature and the earth, the laws of the jungle seem chaotic, or the laws of nature seem chaotic, but they're perfectly in balance if you are connected with the earth. But to that mindset, no, we need to order that chaos. We need to protect ourselves from it. And not only protect ourselves from it, but dominate and exploit it. It's interesting too, roads. I mean, I'm looking at a road right now, a driveway. I mean, roads are a technology. That is how the Roman Empire became as big as it was. They built roads. They were the first to develop what eventually became concrete that we use now. I mean, think about concrete. The driveway I'm looking at just has some gravel over it. It's just a dirt road with gravel on it, but the invention of concrete is pretty wild. I mean, they literally bulldoze the earth and then put a substance over it that prevents anything from growing. It eventually kills that spot of the earth. It is a technology. And really, just like Rome, it's what made America what it is. After the Great Depression, FDR's New Deal, a big part of it was creating the highway system that we have today. It's what made the collection of 50 states so powerful. This transport system that we have here. And of course that ties into the necessary and proper clause in interstate commerce and the rise of the federal government, which was all planned from the beginning, the whole New Atlantis thing. But a road is a technology just as much as a camera is. And I'm sitting here thinking, just the very fact that cameras exist is proof that this intelligence orchestrating all this is hopelessly disconnected from the natural world. I mean, if you were sitting outside all day, every day, and you developed an equilibrium, a balance with the earth, you would have no use for a camera. Why? If you were flowing in that state of being, what use would you have to capture a moment and to remember it? Every moment is the same in that flow. You don't need to remember them. It's a constant stream of peace and well-being. Why would you need a camera? So the intelligence that came up with a camera is, what's the point? I've always hated taking pictures. Ever since I was little, it was very difficult to get me to be in a picture. I was never happy about it. And then there's all those, I guess you could call them myths about, cultures that believe that a part of your soul gets captured with that film, It's like, think about all of the people that are putting their face up to their phones or computers and broadcasting it to the entire internet on YouTube. Or how about all of the people that are constantly taking selfies or just pictures of everything that they do and updating their Facebook statuses with it? They're constantly looking to make new memories because they're not in the moment. They're not present. So they take pictures constantly to log their memories and then are constantly thinking of new ways to log new memories to share in the future. But never are they just present. Just staring at that screen, man. I suppose it's all just been some coincidental accident that we have ended up in the situation we are in today, huh? Because, of course, the disconnection of the conscious awareness of the individual is directly proportional to the disconnection of the system itself that has been literally overlaid on top of nature. And then worse than that, they repackage this artificial version of nature to make you think that you're still living in it. It's like Central Park in New York City, right? There's all these people, we'll say in quotes, on the internet talking about the breakaway civilization. There's a breakaway civilization that's trying to escape the earth. Well, what do you think you're living in right now? What is this system? It is a breakaway civilization. It broke away from the earth. You get it? That's the breakaway civilization, and you're a part of it. It's not about secret space programs and UFOs and traversing a universe of space that may or may not exist as we think it exists. It might not even be traversable. You see, the breakaway civilization created an artificial structural system that is anti-life and anti-nature in every way. And like the synthetic replica that this breakaway civilization is, this intelligence does the exact same thing in your mind. In the collective awareness, it does the same thing. It creates the cornerstones, which are thought forms that turn into belief systems, which are the structures like the buildings or the houses or whatever is built on top of the land. It's done the same way in the realm of the mind. So all you have to do to stop the breakaway civilization is to stop using it. But don't think that I have it figured out somehow, that I know how to escape. Think of this recording like I'm speaking to, like we're all in a zoo and we have a coconut telegraph of some sort and we're all talking to each other, and one of the zoo animals is saying, "Hey guys, I have this feeling that this is all artificial and even though I've lost all of my wild natural instincts, I kind of have this idea that this isn't the way it's supposed to be, and I know there's a better way to live and interact with the earth. But at the same time, hey man, I get food brought to me every day. I don't have to hunt for anything. I can just sit around and entertain all these beings that are watching me, make them laugh, make them cry, make them scared. I can do whatever I want. And I got these people that take care of me. This is pretty good." And that's us. That's what we are. You can have it pretty good in this system, you know? And I am I wouldn't say fully, but I'm very domesticated in many ways. I drive a car, I use toilets, and speaking of toilets, like, that's probably one of the inventions that is, of technology that is pretty good, I would say. Toilets are alright. But again, that's I hope you see the parallel there, the analogy to the zoo animal. You know, I'm just so removed from the natural instinct to just find a hole and take a crap in it, as we would in the wild. Or I'm sure tribes have developed some sort of system to do all of that. But even not that long ago, we were all using outhouses, you know, before all this plumbing came around. Like, you can see the trace of the instincts. Anyway, that is all to say that I still, even though I am trying in as many ways as possible to not use this system, I still do. And I'm still that zoo animal just like you are. So don't think that I've got some answer for you. I don't. It's like they're creating, it's like the next evolution of it is the breakaway mind. It's as if they're creating this, this digital synapse that I've talked about before, this digital consciousness that is breaking away from the conscious mind entirely, right? It's like the next iteration. And then on top of that, it's merging with this smart, quote unquote, technology in all of the things that are used by the system itself. And, they're merging together, creating this whole new iteration of human consciousness. It's pretty crazy when you sit down and think about it. Order out of chaos and the breakaway civilization. They are one and the same thing. But that's it for now. Take it easy, guys.